What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a different video today because I actually joined a band, a cover band. I joined a Offspring tribute band, and I need to make a patch for it. So I thought I'd do a video doing like a kind of like a sounds like type video if you're familiar with any of the Anderson stuff. But I want to do a sounds like Offspring, a sounds like Offspring video, because I have joined an Offspring tribute band and I need to make a patch for it. So right now, what I'm doing right now is that I'm taking a lot of the stuff, a lot of the utility stuff, because I don't have a lot of patches on my quad cortex. But the more I play in bands, the more I do stuff, the more patches I'm gonna have to make, and so I kind of want to utilize it. Um, kind of want to utilize it so that in a way I'm not having to um really use, or I'm not, I want to make it more organized. Basically what I'm trying to say, I want to make it more organized. And so that's what we're doing today. We're gonna make this more organized, and we're gonna get rid of some patches that I don't need, add some patches that I do need for this. We're gonna do kind of like it sounds like Offspring video. So quick disclaimer, you will need a guitar with humbuckers. I have a guitar with humbuckers. Humbuckers are basically the only thing I use now. I don't really use single coils anymore. But you need a guitar with humbuckers. They use Ibanez, but I don't have an Ibanez. I have an LTD, so I'm going to use that. And also, they don't do a lot of like clean distortion. It's punk. It's punk rock, so very basic. Not really a whole lot of effects. Just basically what I'm gonna need is I'm gonna need a compressor, because I've been using compressors in my recordings, and I really like the way the compressors sound on the quad cortex. So compressor. Usually they use amps for their distortion, but I'm actually gonna use a distortion pedal, a clean amp, a cab, prefer maybe a gate to kind of keep things quiet. And since all my guitars are set up and tuned to drop A, I'm going to have to use a pitch shift to go down, because Offspring play in standard. And so because I can tune the guitar to B standard, but I have to, then transpose it up via the quad cortex. So that's what we're going to, so a little bit of disclaimer for you if you do play drop tunings, you want to play, if you do play drop tunings and you want to, play other than drop A, caveman, ones and zeros, or drop G or drop F, whatever your tuning preferred. Definitely start getting used to using kind of a pitch shifter or anything like that. Not necessarily with the recording, but playing live, it's okay. I know some people like the right jumpsuit apparatus. They use them live. They use them live and in the studio, and they don't have any issues. But yet they have the actual like drop tech pedal. Since this is the quad cortex, it's not as reliable as you would say the drop tune pedals from Digitech or the whammies or stuff like that. So it gives you a really nice sound, still works really well. I use it for a lot of the stuff that I do for my band One More Light. As well as like if I'm doing a lesson, I have it transposed on my guitar for the lessons. But usually, definitely use it sparingly. That means use it live, don't use it in the studio. In the studio, you want to get a clear sound from as much of a clear sound from the guitar as you can. So definitely like adding a drop tune kind of like muddy that. But if you're like me and use a modeler for recording, I don't know, we'll have to try it in a video later. But today we're gonna sound like Offspring. And so today I'm trying to switch some stuff around, but it's not letting me, so that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take one of my old patches, and I'm just gonna not mod it, but I'm gonna switch some stuff around, take some stuff off, things like that. And so if I can get you on over here, give me. So this is my Cortex control. This is the patch that I'm going to be fiddling with today. I don't use this patch at all, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of all this stuff that we don't need. Like I said, since we're doing Offspring, we don't really need a lot of effects. And I'm actually playing rhythm guitar for the band, so we don't need a lot of effects. We just need enough. We just need enough of the effect. We just need our basics. Maybe some reverb if we're feeling cheeky, but we don't really, need it. Actually, you know what? I think if I can, let me assign this to something. Okay, won't let me do that. Anyways, we're gonna put not in use. Okay. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna put multi out because we don't need too much. Not in use. Mono. Where's my stereo? There we go. Multiple output. So that's gonna give us our. That's gonna go in both of our XLRs, all of our outs. So our 2 XLRs, our 2/4 inch, and our USB. And then I'm just gonna unassign the ones I don't need for at least right now. That's the great thing about this, is that you can modify this to however you want. That's the great thing about Quad Cortex, that you can basically do whatever you want. But let me see if I can get rid of this splitter. I don't really need it. Let's see if I can get rid of this splitter. Hold on. Sound Express Ball, nah, fam, I don't need that. Hold on, let me figure this out and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So it looks like that these splitter mixer things on Quad Cortex, those are just there. So I looked at all my patches, so they're just there, so I get rid of them. But that's okay, because we can always, mess with it to where we don't need them. They're just there in case we do need them. So we're going to start things off. I'm just going to go ahead and start things off and add a utility. Actually, you know what? No, I think it's pitch. Let's go to pitch. Pitch. And we're going to go to transpose. Just a basic transpose. Nothing too crazy. We're going to boost it up because I'm in drop A. We're going to boost it up. Because even though the band plays in standard E, they used to play in standard E, now they play in standard E flat. So let me see. So go from DS5. So I would say that would be 4. Because we're going to be in C. So we're going to be in D flat. Because we're going to be in because we're going to be in D flat since we're playing in E flat. So I dropped 2 my guitars just to make it easier. But let me see. A flat, B, C, C sharp, D flat. Yep. Okay. No, that should be right. All right, and now we're going to add a gate. Actually, you know what? I like to put my compressors before the gate. I've been using the Legendary 87 compressor. It's actually quite good. I actually really enjoy it. I think it sounds really good as is out of the box. And so now we're gonna go to our utility gate, and these are just stuff that I'm adding in before I grab the guitar, only because it's just easier to go ahead and add this stuff. Do I want to do a doubler? Do I think a doubler might be? Let's try a doubler and see if that'll work. I can always get rid of it if all else fails. All right, so we're almost running out of room on here on this first line, but we have enough but we don't have that many effects to go, so it's not going to be that bad. So I got a doubler, transpose, compressor. Let's do a gate. Just do a utility gate. Nope. Nope. Adaptive gate. Yeah. I like to use the adaptive gate because yeah, my thing was plugged in. I like to use the adaptive gate because of just the fact of like it's one knob. As you can see, it's one knob. So I don't really have to worry. I'm very much a simplistic kind of guy. I don't like too much. Okay, now overdrive. So I've been using the the Chief pedals because these are going to be your boss pedals. And they sound really good. I use the Chief DS1 in my lessons sometimes. They also have, they have, so the Chief BD2, that's the blues driver. Chief DS1, that's a distortion. Chief MT, that's the metal zone. Chief OD1, that's the overdrive. And then Chief SD1, that's the super drive. That's a super overdrive. So I do like the way that the Chief DS1 sounds, so we're just gonna go like that. And you hear that hum? We're just gonna turn that noise gate up just a tiny bit to get rid of that hum. I like to turn the noise gate all the way up. Now, we're gonna use a clean amp. Now, I'm gonna end up playing around with the clean amps, but I need something that's gonna be very, very, very clean. And so we're going to use something that I've never used before. And that's going to be our... Because mainly when it comes to cleans, I like using the Fender stuff. But I am not going to use anything Fender until they quit with their bullcrap. And so I know the Roland Jazz course, that has really good clean. So we're just going to do Roland Jazz course for the clean. And then for cabs, my go-to cab is normally a Mesa Boogie. But I think there's a Jazz course cab that I can pair with it. That's a 2x12, which would be really cool if I can find it. Roland Jazz course right there. Perfect. And it's in mono. Do we have one in stereo? I don't think we have one in stereo. Just mono? Just mono. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I've never used it before, but this is my patch. I'm going to go ahead and now set up the pedals. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep everything on except for the distortion. We want to be able to switch the distortion on and off. Also, I don't mess with any of these settings usually, only if it's an overdrive or a gate. I usually, or a transpose. I usually, when it comes to the amp settings, the cab settings, and the compressor settings and everything, I usually keep it as is, only because I think they sound really good just as is right out of the gate. And so I really don't need to mess. I don't really feel like I need to mess with it too much. But this is what I'm going to do. So because of the fact of, you know what? Let's add another one. We're going to add another transpose only because, yeah, I said that this band plays. We decided to play in E flat. Sorry, I can't find my words. An E flat standard, but just in case, let's get another transpose on here and have it to D, only because I want to make sure that when I'm at practice, I'm covering all the bases. And so now we have a really good, and I have maxed out this whole line, but that's okay because you also have this line, this third line to play off of, and also we can activate the splitter and the mixer and get the second and fourth on here too. But also I think we can bypass and go down. Yeah, we can go down to row 3, row 4, or row 3 and 4. And then the same thing if we were to go to row 3, we can no, we can't utilize it. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Never mind. We'll eventually do a patch where it's like super crazy and you know, where it's super crazy and we don't have to worry about this stuff. But as you can see, this line is completely straight up used up. That's okay. We have other lines. Basically what I was trying to say. But we're going to go ahead. We're going to assign these to a foot switch. I normally like to use the bottom 4 first for effects or things that I use the most. So we're going to go ahead and add that first one to E. As you can see, this one's going to be assigned to E. This one is going to be assigned to F. And then this one, the chief, this one is going to be assigned to G. And basically, those are the only 3 foot switches I'm going to have for this patch. I'm going to have the two transposes and then the distortion. I believe that's going to be it for me when it comes to that. But as you can see, I'm clicking the foot switches and they're all turning off. And then let's go ahead and save this. And yes, I'm keeping the doubler, the compressor, the gate, and the amps on. And so yeah, so let me grab my guitar and let's play around with it and just hear how it sounds. All right, so I'm back. I have my Surf Green ESP LTD 1987 Eclipse Custom. It's actually a custom NT. And this is my main guitar. It's my only guitar right now that is playable. And this is how it sounds without the pitch shift or the distortion. It just has the doubler, the compressor, the gate, and the amp and cab. Like I said, this thing's in drop A, so that gate might be a little bit too powerful, especially for clean. So I'm just gonna back it off real quick. I'm just gonna put on 90%, see how that goes. Just to, you know, because the one thing you don't want is, you know, kind of hear it go in and out. You want it to be a natural, you know, because this is a noise reduction. It's not a gate where it just completely cuts off. And so I prefer noise reduction as opposed to the gate, because it just cuts it off. But, you know, with me, you know, it just slowly decays. All right, so let's do the E flat. You can kind of hear that warble. That might be because of the doubler. Hold on. Let me turn the doubler off real quick, just so we can, you know. Nope, that's just the way that. Okay, so that's not the doubler doing that. All right. So that's E flat. We're gonna turn that off, and we're gonna do. This is gonna be the E. That warble a little bit. Let me turn off the compressor, see if that the compressor is the reason why it's doing that. No, the compressor is the one it's boosting the signal, so we're not going to turn that off. It might just be because my fingers are fat. But and then, so we're going to keep that on, and this is our distortion. So I don't like the way that sounds. We're going to change that. I don't like the way that sounds. It needs a little bit more gain. Let's try the super overdrive, see if that will make a difference. So it sounds a little bit better. Now this is the one thing that, let me, if I mess with the overdrive. Let's try the blues driver, see if the blues driver would be any better. Turn that down a little bit because that is a little bit too loud. It's just not. Do I dare try the middle one? Why? Why is that the sound? That's crazy. Let me turn that level up, kind of make it a little bit more. What if, just because we can, let's try the rat. There's a rat in here, it's called Rodent Drive. Let's try that. Doesn't sound bad. I'm gonna try another one here. Try the OD 250. That's an overdrive. Thunder Paw. Let's try the Thunder Paw. Ooh, there's a Freeman BOD. I want to try that one. The Freeman pedals are actually really good. Oh, BT Dubs. This has a Seymour Duncan JB in the net and the bridge, and then a Seymour Duncan 59 in the neck, and that actually does matter because eventually I am going to do a video on guitar pickups, but this doesn't sound bad. And that's the thing, like, with Offspring, is that you don't need something that's super high gain, but you do need enough gain to kind of have that sound. And So it's kind of a basic setup. It's usually kind of a setup that a guitar that a lot of guitar players use and have been using for years. It's just on a modeler, and it sounds just good. It reminds me when I was a kid, or a teenager, learning these songs, and all I had was a cheap Digitech distortion pedal and a cheap amp, learning songs from bands like the Offspring and stuff like that. So that's really cool. But yeah, I think, I mean, it's close. It's not right on the nose, but it's definitely close. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it and say that that is a successful sounds like. Let me turn these off and then say that. That way, when I show up to practice, whenever I practice with them, I can, have everything ready to go, and I don't have to worry about flipping through menus when I get there. Because that's the one thing that I like about modelers, and I miss about having like a real amp and pedals, stuff like that. Is that with the modelers, you have to and now of course Quad Cortex makes it totally easy, a lot easier with the touchscreen and all that. But I miss turning dials. I really do. But it's just the Quad Cortex is just so much easier and sounds just as good as the real thing. I mean, I have no complaints about the Quad Cortex at all. Yeah, that just sounds great. But anyways, that's what you're at for me. Make sure you guys like and subscribe for more content. If you thought that this was very much valuable and you learned a lot from it, make sure you comment. Also, comment of the day. I read through the comments. This video's comment is going to be from me. The last video where I did the Can Quad Cortex replace my modeler, I ended up commenting and I said my favorite band is Creed, which is actually true. My favorite band is Creed. Even though I play nu metal and metalcore, Creed still has a very I love Creed. Basically, long story short, I love Creed. And so yeah, so make sure you guys comment. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. I'm also gonna have some new things in the works for a lot of you guys viewing. I'll notice on my first video I had quite a bit of views. Thank you so much for watching the video. Whoever you are, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot to know that people find this stuff interesting. People find this stuff valuable, and so thank you so much for subscribing. I mean, for watching. But I mean, it costs you like half a second to subscribe. So why not subscribe? I mean, why not subscribe? Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I mean, it'll help me out, and also if you like, it'll help YouTube be like, okay, this video is definitely worth showing other people, and they'll push it to the rest of the world. So why don't you subscribe and like it, and also comment. And don't forget, I do look through comments, I do read the comments, and I do feature a comment on my video. So make sure you comment if you enjoyed the video, and I will definitely speak to you guys again really soon. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. Bye.